Hey, what's up dudes? Staxers here, and welcome back to our NHL 18 Beer Pro series that I got going here. I am currently on episode 17 at the moment, and I actually just found a purpose for commentating over these NHL Beer Pros. So, to make them a lot more interesting, I am going to try to make these Beer Pros only when like NHL 19 news comes out or anything like that. And I'll use these Beer Pros to play and also commentate over any news I hear about NHL 19. So for this episode, we're going to be talking about the new franchise mode Revamp scouting engine. And there's quite a bit of new stuff to it. I'm pretty excited to go over this. I am currently injured, so I'm going to have to simulate past the injury here, but yeah, we're going to get into this upload and get going. Okay, we're back, dude. So, character is 100% ready to go now. The injury is no longer there. We are back in December the 19th, which is pretty decent. Most of the season's gone now. We're fairly close. Now, I don't know if we'll be Stanley Cup contenders this year. I mean, at the moment it looks like it. But you never really know, to be honest. I don't think we've versed Colorado yet, have we? No, we haven't. No, since we haven't versed Colorado, we're gonna go ahead and verse Colorado. And yeah, for most of these teams that I've already versed, I'll probably just simulate past them, to be honest, if I verse a team already, unless they're a rivalry team of some sort. But other than that, I'm not gonna bother with teams that I've already versed. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into this upload now, as we're no longer injured. Alright dude, so as much as I want to show the video itself that EA released for the franchise mode scouting revamp. Sorry, I'm a little lost for words trying to play at the same time. As much as I want to show it, I'm just going to leave it in the description below, and I'll let you guys watch it for yourself, but it's pretty straightforward. What has happened to franchise mode is that they've added scouts that you actually have to hire. So they give you a scout salary, and usually it's around $2 million or so dollars you have to spend on 20 different scouts. And now, from what I noticed, you don't have to have like all your scouts, like you don't have to have 20 scouts altogether. You can have 17 as it shows in the video, or you can have possibly lower. I'm not too sure if there's a max limit or anything like that, but I think it really depends. You gotta like be smart with your spending and whatnot on the scouts there. I'm gonna try to jump in the middle here, see if I can get a shot on net. It ain't gonna happen. We're gonna have to jump off here. So it's kind of like your players and whatnot. You gotta spend. You have a certain salary cap for players, so now you also have a salary cap for your scouts, and depending on what scout you want, whether it be a pro scout, amateur scout, or so forth, I think it costs more and whatnot. And the more you pay for a scout, the more that they'll come up with better readings on players and more accuracy and whatnot. Another cool thing about the scouts is that they all have individual ratings, so depending on the skater's shooting, the sensors, all the things that the skater has, pretty much almost, the scout looks at. So depending on your scout, your scout might be better at telling what a player's shooting or what a player's passing is. It really depends on the scout and what they're really good at, to be honest there. Just trying to get that in there. Oh my goodness, what a nice attempt. What a beauty attempt. Let's get that to the blue line there. Sadly, Relay couldn't keep that one in there. Let's jump in the middle. So yeah, so all your individual scouts that you hire, they're all better at scouting different things. So whatever you're looking for, you got to make sure that you have the right scout for whatever you're looking for, depending on whether you need a sniper or you need a puck moving defenseman, so forth. You need the right scout for it. And that's what I like about the new scouting system that they've they put together for the franchise mode there. Makes it a lot more interesting and gives you more stuff to do. I really hope that they do that with the GM too also. You gotta hire your own GM and so forth. That'd be really cool. Well, not GM, sorry, coach. Hire your own coach and assistant coach and whatnot. That would be absolutely amazing. Let's jump off here. So apparently not only do the scouts individually have better evaluation skills on certain things, but they also... Oh, sorry, 1 minute. Let's see if I can get a point here, hopefully. Can I? No, I can't. They also, I guess, have an effect on your character's personality and everything. And they also evaluate what similarities does your character have. Like, I noticed in the new video that EA released is that some characters will have, like, let's say they have similarities to James Neal, or you know, they play like what's another good one, Patrick Kane, or you know, stuff like that. And that's definitely gonna have an effect on how you create your team and who you base your team off of and whatnot. Okay, so what I also noticed that the scouts are assigned by region now. It's more like SHL, Liga, so those are basically the same. But what I noticed different is that they also have NHL Central, NHL Atlantic, NHL Pacific, and then NHL Metro. So your scouts can be assigned to any of those areas, and so the scouts not only work for the draft eligible players down in the lower leagues, but they also work for the NHL players. So you're gonna have to figure out which players are good for you also in the NHL when it comes to like trade deadline and all that and trading and everything. So scouts are gonna definitely be a huge factor in franchise mode here. So I also want to point out the age, and basically what I'm looking at is that these scouts also have an age to them. So they have an age, a retiring age and whatnot. So at some point your scout will retire. I noticed one of the oldest scouts that I've seen, or the only scout I've seen, is age 45. So I don't think they retire like in their 30s. I think it's more like 40s and 50s retirement age, maybe even longer than that. You never know. I feel like the age is a good idea. I hope that the older the person, the more mature. But I also feel like you're gonna get those young scouts that they're already matured as is and are able to scout just as good as the older scouts. You know, kind of like how potential goes with the characters here, like medium elite and low top 6 and whatnot. There's different scouts for different qualities and stats and whatnot. So basically you got your essential scouting ring, and then you got your own scouting ring, and I'm not too sure which one would be more accurate. I think it really depends on how well your scouts are and how well the other scouts are. Let's try to get a goal here. Oh my goodness, shoot that on net. Come on, we almost got one. So yeah, I'm pretty interested in seeing how all this scouting system works. It also has a new drafting system that I think is a lot better. It gives you the junior point production and time on ice and all that. So not only do your scouts have got to keep track of the junior production and all that in the other leagues there for the players that you were scouting, but they also got to scout the strengths, the weaknesses, and they do give them overall ratings. So like how my Beer Pro, oh man, missed assignment, yeah. How my Beer Pro character is graded during this Beer Pro mode. So I get graded by my defense, my offense, and my team play. That's basically how the characters are going to be graded down in the amateurs. So the young players coming up, that's how they're going to be graded by the scouts, which is pretty interesting. I'm pretty excited for that also. It brings a lot more realism to the franchise mode series. The final section of the scouted player there is that not only do the scouts got to keep track of like the shooting ability and what they're really good at, but they also keep track of like the personality. So what it shows in the revamped video that EA sent out is that for the Vitaly Popov is the example player here, is that he's a very passionate person but gets emotional at times. He is driven to win. So that's gonna be pretty interesting to see all the personalities that are created through the creative system that EA has going. And then it also shows similar styles, so he shows similar style to Nicklas Backstrom. I imagine there's going to be a lot of players that are reused and whatnot for that kind of stuff, but I like that. I really like that. It makes it easier to figure out what players you need to basically teach your younger players. Like let's say Vitaly Popov does have similarity to Nicklas Backstrom. Let's say you make a trade for Nicklas Backstrom, and what if that causes Vitaly Popov to grow a lot faster, you know, because he's learning off a player that his style is based off of. And then also it shows the potential, of course, medium elite, low elite, you know. So not only does every player have like a written report on basically who they are as a player and how good they are, but every player also gets a potential bust or not, you know. Like if a player looks like it might be a bust, your scouts will set them as bust, which is pretty crazy. I mean, there has been quite a few busts in the past couple years here. Oh, I tried to deke around him, that didn't really work out. I might as well jump off now. And then they also have a set of binoculars set on every character there, and depending on how transparent the binoculars are, like if it's more visible to you, it's more accurate, but if it's really transparent, it just means that it's not as accurate as any of the other players, I guess, which is pretty cool. Now I know what all of you are thinking. You're thinking franchise mode has got a lot more complicated, right? Now you gotta look after scouts, and you gotta make sure your scouting is accurate pretty much. Get it in there, kick it in or something. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean franchise mode is still as fun as they used to be. If not, I think it's better, to be honest. But they also added a draft board, so viewing players and putting them on your watch list is a lot more important than it ever has been for franchise mode. So make sure when you draft, or before you go and figure out where you're drafting, pick a bunch of players that you think are going to be good. You know, put them on your watch list, and that way you have an easier time of keeping track of which players you're going to want to draft and whatnot. Ah, Varlamov. Close. Very close. And then also on this draft board, it also keeps track of like your defense depth, your goalie depth, and it also keeps track of your like projected picks. So, and this is gonna change throughout the simulation or whatever you're doing with franchise mode. It's gonna change throughout time. And basically what the projected picks is that it gives you a pick that would be more suitable for your team. So like if you're a rebuilding team, it'll give you one of the higher picks, and basically pointed out is that this is your objective. You need a puck moving defenseman who's going to grow into something big. It'll give you that player, and it'll give you an idea on who you have to draft and who you got to keep an eye on and so forth. So guys, there's also a new setting called Fog of War that you can turn off or on, and basically what it says, for an example, is that you're going to know exactly what Alex Ovechkin is capable of and what his stats are and everything, but as the franchise mode progresses, you're going to be losing information on characters like that, especially if they're not playing for your exact team. So you're going to be losing information on those players, so it's going to be totally up to you to make sure you keep track of those players, especially if you plan on trading for them in the future coming years. The whole league, I mean, not only is the young drafts, upcoming drafts, characters you got to keep track of now, but you got to keep track of the entire NHL league. And I think that's why the whole NHL Pacific, NHL Metropolitan, I think all those are added into the scouting and whatnot, because you got to keep track of those NHL teams also in the AHL. And I feel like that's, sure, it's going to make it a little bit more complicated, but I feel like it's going to make franchise mode a lot more fun, and the realism and everything does come into play now. Like, franchise mode is more realistic than it ever has been. So going back to the whole fog of war effect and the transparency of the binocular symbol, depending on how accurate the readings are from the scouts are, you're going to notice that players are going to have that binocular not only beside their potential, but beside all of their readings. So like shooting, playmaking, offensive awareness, defensive awareness. I didn't mean to take that that goddamn tripping penalty. So this is going to have a big effect on how much you're going to be signing a certain character for. So you don't want to overpay a character. That's going to be a big factor in the NHL 19 upcoming franchise mode. You don't want to overpay a certain character. You want to make sure you're paying the character for the right amount for the skills and assets that you're getting for him. So I'm going to go in and, oh, that was a terrible pass. I haven't been doing very good this game here, as you can tell. My return back to the NHL after my injury. I've been focused way too much on this video at the moment and getting this upload good and ready to go. I want to make sure my commentating is good. I want to make sure that the focus is not so much on the gameplay, but more on the NHL 19 franchise mode that we got coming. In order for you to get the full accuracy reading of the players that play on your team, they have to play for you. The less they play, the more inaccurate the readings on the character is, because the scouts aren't watching them play, and they're not focused on their progress or whatnot. And this goes for the same thing for rookies. You're not going to get their exact reading of their potential and all their skills and abilities until you get them to play. And this is what's going to make preseason a lot more important, is that you're going to actually have to focus on the younger guys. You got to have to let them play in the preseason in order to figure out what they're capable of and if they're NHL ready or not. Oh, that was a close one. That was a really close one. I'm going to have to jump off here. Also added a player search, so you can search up certain players and whatnot, which makes it a lot more easy when it comes to like finding players and what team they play for. So let's say you trade away, you make a big 1-for-1 trade, kind of like with PK Subban Weber trade, and you want to keep track of the big time player that you traded away. Simple, search him up. You'll find out where exactly and what team he's playing for. You probably won't get the exact readings because it really depends on the scouts you use and where they're scouting and how accurate they are scouting. But you're going to be able to search them a lot faster and figure out where they're playing and whatnot, which is going to make franchise mode a lot more fun, a lot more interesting, and it's going to give you more to do. Definitely is going to give you more to do. So the last thing I want to mention is that expansion franchise is being reintroduced, of course. Fairly popular. People like creating their own teams and whatnot. But now you can also do it with custom rosters. So if you want to create your own custom roster, you are welcome to in the new franchise mode. And as much as I'm not too interested in that, I know there's a lot of people that do like doing their own custom rosters, and it is a thing, so I'm pretty glad they added that. They are definitely listening to the to the community a lot more, and I hope they continue to do so. One thing I really want from my wish list when it comes to NHL 19, or when it comes to franchise mode in general, I know it won't be added in this one, but the next one, is I hope they add like the ability to also have to sign your own coaches, like the AHL coach, maybe power play coach, you know, coaches, actual coaches, and they work better with like certain players, and some are defensive based, and you know, so forth. And that will give the unique ability to like create your own team too. So if you want to create a defensive based team, one that relies heavily on the defense, you can. So basically like a Montreal team. If you want to create a team based off the offense, you can, and you know, different kinds of things like that. I think that would definitely make it a lot more better for the franchise mode series there. Damn it. I am not doing good at all this game here. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on NHL 19 franchise mode. I know the new video just came out from EA just like a couple days ago now, by the time this is out. I'm a little late, but that's okay. At least I made my opinion video, basically, more my reply to it. I'm very excited for it. I do play franchise mode quite consistently, and I feel like maybe come NHL 19 I'll create a playthrough instead of a simulation. But we'll see. It depends on what you guys want to see, to be honest. Damn it! Why is my shot so bad? Okay, I kind of saw that happening. Why did he pass it to me again? There you go, Meinferk. Let's jump off. Yeah, so other than what I've mentioned, NHL 19 doesn't have too much going on for franchise mode. I mean, I like how they really updated the drafting system and whatnot there, but I really feel like they could have did a little bit more. I'm not dissatisfied, or I'm not trying to say like I'm not excited, but from what I noticed is that NHL 19 franchise mode, it looks basically the same. Maybe if they change it with the layout system a little bit and make it look a little more original and unique, that would be pretty decent. But nonetheless, NHL 19 franchise mode has been released on the new stuff that they're adding, and I guess I'll say I'm pretty happy, pretty stoked. Well, we'll see what happens come NHL 19. Right off in Colorado scored. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. That's okay, as long as I wasn't on for that. I guess I'm pretty good. Not like this is an individual kind of thing, but basically it kind of is. I don't see how that didn't go in. Nice attempt though. Very nice attempt. So, if you happen to drop by this video, I know NHL 19's, well, it's less than a month away now. But, what do you guys think I should do for NHL 19 franchise mode? I know I'm doing Montreal Canadiens for sure, but what are your thoughts on whether I do the simulation, kind of like I'm doing with the Vancouver series doing, or should I do an actual playthrough? And it won't be exactly like a game by game playthrough, but it's gonna be more so. Yeah, most likely more than a game by game. But I don't want to play every game. Like I don't want to keep repeating versing teams I already versed unless they're like a rivalry team. But yeah, my playthrough is going to be fairly similar to how I was doing it with my expansion franchise. And by the way, my expansion franchise, I kind of stopped doing the uploads for that series. If you want that series back, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to bring that series back. That's a pretty fun series to play. Alright, so that's going to do it for this upload. Nathan Mackinnon and the Colorado Avalanche just absolutely smacked us around. I mean, they gave Marc-Andre Fleury a good spanking here. Okay, I guess they didn't beat us that bad. It was only 2-1, but I don't know. Hopefully next time we face them, we manage to get a win. Especially knowing that we're at home. That's alright though. It's okay. We didn't get a point this game, but like I said, it's all about NHL 19. So that's probably going to be it for this upload. It was basically me just going over the whole new NHL 19 franchise mode, revamp scouting system, and basically the new video. Like I said, I'll have the video in the description below for the EA Sports NHL upload. It's fairly straightforward upload. It goes through all the new things that have been added to NHL 19 franchise mode there. And I know I didn't do very good this upload when it comes to playing the BO Pro here. I didn't really get a point. Like I was on a massive point streak before I started actually commentating in these uploads here and actually talking about a subject. But now that I have subjects to talk about, I feel like I'm focusing more on my commentary than the gameplay itself. And I don't know, I'm trying to base like all my uploads, not base them all off of that. I mean, I want my gameplay to be just as interesting, but I want to get that commentating aspect. I want to start improving in that, and the only way I can do that is if I focus on my commentary at the moment, and eventually I'm going to get good enough that I don't need to focus so much on the commentary. I can focus both on the gameplay and the commentary. But yeah, so leave your thoughts in the comment section below on whether you want to see me do more of these Beer Pros, or if you want to see me to continue that expansion franchise series I had going with the Hamilton Grizzlies. And leave your thoughts below on what you think about the new NHL 19 franchise mode. I know it's going to be a fairly fun game to play. It does come out September 14th or 18th? No, 14th. It'll be released on Xbox and PlayStation September 14th. I'm pretty excited. Probably going to pre-order it. I'd imagine I'd pre-order it. But yeah, this is basically it for the upload. I don't want to stretch on for too long. Once again, leave a comment, leave a like, and if you just happen to stop by and you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button. You never miss an upload with those notifications there. Yeah, this has been Staxers. Peace out, dude.